My name is of no consequence. What is important is the cause for which I fight. There comes a time when the tyranny must give way to the needs of the people, when greed and oligarchy must yield to the natural freedom of men, when no amount of grandeur or lace will cover the sins of leaders who have forsaken their oaths and forfeited their birthright. It is in this time that only a few may rise up, but around those few many more will gather, bringing with them an irresistible wave of change. I cannot tell you who I am, nor where I am, but I can say that I am not alone. The Chancellor of Rhineland is losing his power over the people, even as he tightens his grasp. We have tried other means, to be sure, but if our voice will not be heard in the chambers of government, it will be heard in the streets. For now, we remain hidden. But we are growing in numbers and will soon rise. We are your brothers. We are your sisters. Listen for the winds of change, and know that the Bunshu are there.
Yeah, my name's Hovis, Dexter Hovis. I was once a sad excuse for a human being like you. Every day I'd make the shipping runs from different ports of call in Sirius, each time going farther and farther, going into and coming out of the most dangerous parts of the galaxy, without even so much as a scratch. It's like I was unbeatable. I just kept looking for the next challenge, the next thrill. Got to the point that even the credits didn't matter anymore. You make a lot, you know, when you go where no one else will. I was pretty sure I'd been everywhere and done everything, and then, on an old abandoned Brett battleship that the Mollies crippled up, I found the race. Asteroid racing makes your blood boil and makes you feel alive. There is nothing like the mano-a-mano struggle of two racers speeding in and around millions of tons of moving rock and ice. And when usually only one of them survives, it don't pay to be no second best. Sure, it's illegal, but the IMG don't care, and no one else knows we're here, except other racers. And they're not telling. They hear the calling, too. They come from all over to race each other, and me, to find out who's the best. It's not about the rat race anymore. It's this kind of race that makes you feel life is worth living. You ever get the calling and feel like you got a pair, you look us up on the hood. I'll be waiting.
I am Hakkera. I am a Kusari lord. For generations, my family has shouldered the mantle of responsibility of this title. I am obliged to my ancestors, the people of my province, to the affairs of state, and to the shogunate. In times of peace, my position is one of tolerance, wisdom, and balance. But when peace may become threatened, it is then that I must defend all that I am obliged to, fiercely, relentlessly, and if necessary, to the death. It is in those moments of battle, when the statesman puts off his robes and assumes the stance of the warrior, when the pen is put down in favor of the blade, and the seas and vistas of Kusari are forsaken, in favor of the outer darkness of space and the ravaging heat of armed conflict. It is in those moments, when all of those who have gone before me now take up arms and fight through me. My blood, mixed with that of my father and his father before him, back 100 generations. That is when the Lord becomes a servant to his people, and I know truly what it means to be Kusari.
My name? My name is Junko Zane. What can I tell you about myself? Nothing you haven't already seen on the news. Well, that was a long time ago. I was a child. A child of two famous luminaries of very different houses, who beat the odds and made a life for us. My father, John Zane, was a famous test pilot for the Liberty military who then turned to political service. While on assignment, he met Shikoku, my mother, who in her own right was a woman of power and influence, even in male-dominated society like Kusari. Their affair caused fervor in both houses, since they both held politically sensitive positions, and their respective governments frowned on this perceived impropriety and breach of protocol. However, my parents' love for each other could not be bound by political ideology, mutual suspicion, or intolerance. And they were married, living in both capitals for a time. It seemed like every press agency in Sirius would interview them whenever the wind changed politically. For years. Finally, when we were old enough, my brothers and sisters and I were given the chance to live in and fully embrace either culture as we saw fit. I chose liberty. Since that time, I've devoted all of my energy to my career and my life here. And though I did receive admission to the LSF Academy in part thanks to my father, let me assure you that I have come the rest of the way on my own. I graduated with top honors and was one of the youngest appointees to the LSF. Since then, I've embraced each assignment passionately and have racked success after success, rising within the Special Operations branch and dominating the opposition. It's been very satisfying. You know, in many ways, liberty isn't all that different from Kusari. Even in the LSF, some men still think that women are the so-called weaker sex. Then they meet me.
My name is Michael King. My rank is Colonel in the Liberty Security Force. My current assignment is classified. I was born in Manhattan, and I'm proud of it. I went to West Point, served in the military, and was then handpicked to join the LSF. I am proficient in high-energy weapons, triple-blade combat, and open-space survival. I am also the only non-Kusari Sri Lan master ever. This, simply boiled down, means that I am a total and complete badass. It's funny, there's so little in my career that I can actually talk about. But with the military's recent declassification of Operation Triple Spire, and since I don't work for them anymore, I think I can fill you in on some of the details. On the surface, it was a simple criminal weapons facility strike. We had orders to infiltrate, then slash and burn. Things changed, though, when our detachment soon discovered that this particular group of rogues wasn't just manufacturing small arms, but had built a large fusion bomb that it was planning to take down Fort Bush with. Intel's estimates of the rogues' size and strength were way off, and we were surrounded. It got ugly. For 18 hours we held them, and we lost some good people along the way. Finally, we managed to get extracted. But not before leaving them a little love letter from Liberty. As we left, we set off their own weapon and vaporized the entire installation with all hands on board. Mission accomplished as far as I was concerned. When I got back, I also took a bite out of the screw-top Intel OD who briefed us. I assure you his hospital stay was worse than my night in the brig. Needless to say, there were no charges filed. My people and my mission are what matter to me, period. When I have an assignment, the brass upstairs knows that they either need to help me or get the hell out of my way, because I'm gonna get the job done.
Aurelian. It's a name you think you may have heard, but you're not sure. It's in my best interest not to be known, to never be seen by anyone on the outside. No one knows what I look like, or even if I really exist. But there is a rumor. A distant rumor spoken in hushed tones, that I pull the strings of the underworld, that I have plans within plans, that constantly maintain delicate events and countermeasures to ensure that both the criminal element in Sirius and their opposing government agencies are at constant odds with each other, yet remain in balance, that I maintain the ever-present tug-of-war of so-called good and evil, and from my hand I dispense a decisive victory here or critical losses there. Yet I always retain some portion of both, for the waiting coffers of the Order. It is rumored that I have ties deep in the halls of power, yet my influence can also be felt on the outskirts of humanity. That from my seclusion, I see all. As I said, this is just a rumor, but like all good rumors, there lies within a grain of truth.